Wow, this is really weird. I feel like I haven't done this in such a long time. This is like my first live of 2020. Oh gosh. So, of course, waiting for everybody to come and join me for this evening's discussions, for the first discussion of the year. Crazed Driver. Hi, welcome. This is gonna be dope. I haven't seen you guys in a while. It feels like a really long time. You know, people make that corny joke like I've been seeing you since last year, but I won't make that joke. That guy, Amar, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining in. As per usual, what normally would happen, we would wait for people to join in. Usually give it like maybe 5 minutes or so before we get the discussion started, but thanks for being here. Yeah, it has been a while. It's been crazy. I had all intention of going live last week, and yeah, the universe said, no, we're not doing that. You're going to get the flu, and it's going to try to snatch your life, and that's pretty much what happened. I got hit really, really, really hard. So just here waiting for others to join in. The topics tonight, we're going to talk about how to tell the person that you're sleeping with that their head skills need some work. And then I also wanted to talk about, is it possible to date or be in a relationship or marry somebody who has different religious or faith beliefs than you do? Mr. I-95, what's going on? Glad to see you. Nice to see that you're up and at 'em. And I know you had like a 9 o'clock social media rule, so I'm happy that you, you know, kind of kicked that rule, and that was it. That guy, Amar, I'm not sure why you're saying a wow, but yeah, I got sick really bad. I ended up having a double ear infection. I had a respiratory tract infection, which is like a fancy way of saying like I had breathing issues and like a really bad cold sitting on my chest. I was running a fever for like almost 3 days, aches, pains, like it was absolutely crazy. The flu shot, unfortunately, doesn't do anything for me. It's not one of those things that helps. I've had it in past, but I think this particular strain that I had, it's just something really bad that's going around. So a lot of people that I know got hit really hard. But I had to take like antibiotics back to back. They had me using an inhaler, which I'm still using for like another. It was just crazy. I was a hot fucking mess for a while. I remember last week, Tuesday, I did a TV interview for a local radio station here, and then I went to my doctor right after that because I was feeling so terrible, and then it was a wrap. I was out of commission for quite a while. Mr. I-95, you're drunk. Okay, well, you know, it's hump day. It's the middle of the week. You know, you have the drink to kind of get you over the hump and get you through the rest of the week. So yeah, we're just going to give it a couple more minutes, and then we're going to get started with the discussion to kind of wait for people to join in. But this is my weekly Wet Wednesdays. My podcast is the Pum Pum Chronicles. So unfortunately, the first Wet Wednesday of the year actually fell on a Wednesday, which was New Year's Day. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do it on New Year's Day because, you know, people are probably recovering from their New Year's Eve shenanigans and, you know, 1-2 drinks and them kind of things. So I decided not to do that. And then, like I said, last week, Wednesday, I ended up getting like deathly ill. So I didn't do. So this is my first official live of 2020, which I'm really excited about. So it's kind of cool. So, SA Safreal M6, I think it is. I think you just tried to request me to join in the live. I don't take live requests. It's just a standing rule. I tried doing it a couple of times, you know, just kind of like for the kicks and giggles of it. But yeah, it was just kind of weird and didn't work out. I don't know. Maybe at one point I'll just do an episode where it's dedicated to accepting random lives from people to have conversations with everyone. But as it stands right now, no, we're not doing that. Again, Hosen Zeta 111 or 1111, I just explained, if I don't know you, I am not taking a chat request from you because I don't know, whatever it is that you want to talk to me about, say it in the chat window, because so then everybody can, you know, kind of hear what's going on. Because people, I don't know, people act weird when I've accepted chat requests, and then people just act weird, and I'm just not able right now. Like, I just, yeah. So, like I said, maybe at some point in time, I will take a chat request from someone, but probably not today, given the fact that it's the first live back and the first live of the year. Anyways, we're gonna get going with the topic of conversation because I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. As I said, I'm better, but I'm not 100% better. So we'll just kind of chat it out and see how things go. So the first topic, Mr. K Matic 876, Swagwan, welcome. So the first topic of discussion, Angie Young had messaged me and asked me, how do you tell someone, sorry, my ears are still itchy from the ear infection. How do you tell someone, Dora Coleman, what's going on? Nice to see you, honey. How do you tell someone that their head skills are not the best, or that their head skills need to be improved on, or that the way that they perform oral sex is not as pleasing or as satisfying to you as you would like, but how to tell them this without hurting their feelings. So I'm a believer in, so I've learned from past experience that you sometimes just have to tell people what it is, and just, you try to say it in the most tactful way possible, but there's no point in dancing around it, because then a lot of times people completely miss the point of what it is that you're trying to say. I find that it's easiest to do it when you're actually in the act. So, you know, the guy is going down on you. He's, you know, attempting to eat your pussy or whatever the case may be. Or if you're a guy and the girl's attempting to suck your dick, in that moment when they're doing whatever it is that they're doing, you can provide them, or you can give them gentle instruction and gentle feedback on what it is they're doing and the way in which they're doing it, so they stop doing it the way that they're doing it, if that makes sense. So for me as a woman, if a man is going down on me and, you know, he's licking and sucking and doing all these wonderful things and whatever the case may be, you know, if there's something that he's doing that particularly feels good, like, so suppose like he's found the clit, okay? The elusive, mysterious clit. So he's found the clit and he's licking on the clit or making circular motions with his tongue on the clit, and that's something that feels good. In that moment, before I get completely distracted with an orgasm, before I get completely distracted with coming and losing my mind, in that moment, you know, I would say to him, that feels really good. You know, yes, I like that. Or maybe not in those exact words, but you say something that's encouraging enough so that they know that the spot that they're attacking, the spot that they're focusing on, like that little button part that they're licking, that they're doing their circular motion, that's the part that they should focus on. You know, if it is that they're sucking on the outer lips and they're massaging you with their mouth, or they're French kissing your pussy with their mouth in a way that is pleasing to you, let them know that. You know, part of the problem is, like, as okay, so let's say just as women, at that moment where everything feels good and we're about to come, all we're focused on is the feel good moment and the fact that we're about to come. That's the moment in which you need to be his cheerleader and let him know that he's doing a really good job, right? Just the same as if he is focusing too much on the clit, or if he is focusing too much on one spot, or if he's in an area where he's doing something where he's applying too much pressure, you know, you need to say to him, baby, can you ease up a little bit? Or, you know, not so hard, you know, a little bit softer. Can you do that more gentle? Like, you have to give them active instructions, because as much as you think that they're not going to hear you, they do hear you, you know? And sometimes it's just a simple matter of, like, you touch the top of their head just to ease them back a little bit, right? Just like you place their hands on their head and you ease them back a little bit. Or if it is that they're sucking in such a way that it's making you like really, really excited, then you would hold their head and maybe pull their face into you or grind against their mouth and that kind of thing. The same thing for women, you know. People just assume that because a girl can suck dick that she can suck every single dick the right way, and that's not the case. Every man has a different preference. Some men like the head focused on, some men like the shaft focused on. You know, I was telling a friend of mine yesterday that this guy that I used to mess around with, he liked having the head of his dick sucked, and then he liked for his balls to be twisted and tugged on gently. Now, I know lots of guys who, like, if you tug on their balls, they're going to fight you. You know what I mean? So different things work for different people. Mr. Craze Driver, Tell them to do the alphabet with his tongue. They go crazy when I do that. First of all, who's they? They should come about time I get to the letter Q. You know what? And yes, you are right to some degree, but then again, not every woman likes that. Some women like just focusing on the clit. Some women, like me, I don't like focus just solely on the clit. I like that if you're eating my pussy, you're focusing on everything. So there's licks and sucks and tugging gently, and you know, the mouth caressing, like all parts of it, the outer fat part of it, the inner part of it, the clit, the whole nine. This one guy that I was with, you know, I had to, like, got to the point where I wouldn't allow him to eat my pussy because, you know, he would do that. He would do the whole alphabet thing, and it's like, fam, what are you doing? Like, pick a struggle, pick a letter and focus on the letter. Pick the letter O and make circles with your tongue. Or, you know what I mean? Like, he would get so excited that he would pull, oh my goodness me, he would pull on it with his mouth, and it's just like, it doesn't come off. And he would say crazy things to me like, oh, I love it. Oh, I want to suck on it so hard. I want to pull a piece of it off. I'm like, are you retarded? I'm going to die. I can't laugh too hard. Planet 85, welcome. Nook 186, what's going on? Mr. He Petty, what's going on? Oh my gosh, Enviro-Comtastic, what's up? Howdy. But, so he's like, again, you know, oh, I just want to suck it. Oh, I love it. Oh, I want it. And I'm like, it hurts. Don't do it. And okay, I'm sorry. And so he would continue sucking and whatever, and then right back to the same thing. Like he was trying to pull off piece of my pom-pom. And I'm like, guy, stop. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I just love it so much. Oh, I want to suck it. Oh, and so it became, it got to a point where when we would fuck and he would say, oh, I want to go down, I would be like, no, you can't. And then he'd be like, oh, why? And I said, because every time, and I swear to you, I gave him like a half dozen chances on different occasions to not do the foolishness, and he just refused to, because in his mind, he wanted to do it the way that he wanted to do it. And so now you fucked yourself out of the opportunity of ever eating my pussy again because you refuse to listen and you don't want to do things the way that I like. You want to do things the way that you like, which is interesting to me because you're not in my body. So how are you going to tell me that what you're doing should override the pleasure or the pain that I'm feeling? You understand? Just crazy. So the last time, you know, I said to him like, okay, we're not doing that. And he's like, oh, please, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. No, but you know, and then he starts talking crazy and, oh, I love it. I like to pull it. I like it. I just want it to, I like it. And I'm like, and I swear to you, I kid you not, that's how he sounds when he talks. Mass Main, what's going on? Oh my gosh. Queen Honey Bee. Oh my goodness. I haven't seen you since last year. Welcome. Hi. How are you? But, and so the way that I was mimicking him, I promise you that's the way that he sounds. And if Boss Lady Mel joined in, she would be dying laughing because she knows, because I've had this conversation with her and I've told her before, but you know, like, first of all, it sounds lecherous the way that you're talking to me about my pussy and telling me that you, and like I said, it's not like, I'm all for the excitement and being over exuberant and wanting to go down on me. But the point to which you stop listening to what it is that I like and what feels good to me and override it because somewhere in your mind you have this crazy notion that you want to try to chew off a piece of my pom-pom and take it with you, I'm not fucking with you in any way, shape, or form, and you can't, you're not allowed. And so let's say if he and I we were sleeping together for like, say, like a year and a half, after maybe like the 6th time of him trying to go down on me and having this debate with him and him not listening and literally hurting me and making me feel like he was really trying to take off a piece of my pom-pom, I was like, no, you can't. And so for the subsequent time that we were together and we were sleeping together, whatever, I never allowed him to go back to, no matter how much I wanted my pussy eaten, no matter how much I felt like I wanted to nut in his mouth, no matter how much I felt like I wanted to come all over his face, I refused to do it for the simple fact that he did not want to listen in terms of my pleasure. You cannot tell me what feels good to me. You are not in my body. All you can do is listen and take instruction on what feels good to me and perform that way. You know what I mean? In order to get the maximum results or the maximum pleasure from somebody, why would you not listen to what it is that they're saying in terms of what their pleasure needs are? How can you tell somebody what feels good to them and you're not in their body? Enviro-Comtastic. Once the pum pum juice, that's syrup for every... Okay, really? I don't... You know, that's a discussion between you and Dora. I'm just gonna leave that alone. Lord Jazz 9, what's going on? Welcome. So again, for women, if the man is going down on you, give him instructions in that moment. Help him help you to achieve orgasm. It makes no sense to lay there quietly and suffer, or to lay there quietly and take whatever kind of agony or pain it is that he's giving you because he's willing to go down on you. It doesn't make sense. The point of pleasure is pleasure. Help him to help you achieve those orgasms. If it's something that he's doing really well that you enjoy, tell him that. Encourage him. Again, gently hold his head, caress his head, hold his ears, guide him towards your pussy, grind your mouth on him, talk to him, tell him the things that you like. If it's something, again, that's not feeling that fantastic, you can gently push his head back, ease away from him, say, oh, whatever it is, but you can do it in gentle conversations, and you need to do it in the moment. It doesn't make sense to have the conversation. Sorry, let me not say that. You can have the conversations after, but you need to have the conversations in the moment as well. Because in the moment is when they're doing it. In the moment is when you're showing your appreciation for them by caressing their head, holding their ears, giving them those words of encouragement, grinding on their mouth and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't make sense to do those things after the fact when you're laying in bed and just having just conversation. You can have the conversations after you've had like your orgasms and you guys are talking about how great the sex was or whatever, but it's really important to do it in the exact moment. Craze Driver, throw a flag on the play and substitute the player for his backup. Mr. I-95, yes, come on the face, glazed donut. Don, Mr. Don D, what's going on? And it's the same thing for men as well, give her instructions. You don't have to punch her in the head. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to say anything derogatory or rude. But if she is, sucking on the head and you want her to focus on the shaft, tell her that. If she is sucking on the shaft, but you want her to focus on the head, tell her that. People come with a basic set of skills when it comes to oral sex. People come with a basic set of skills when it comes to sucking dick and eating pussy. Everything else is about learning the person's body and learning what feels good to the person, right? You've got girls that be like, oh, I'm the dick sucking champion of the world and I can suck a mean dick. I am great at sucking dick. I can say that confidently. However, I still take time to learn the dick of the person who I'm sucking, because again, not everything that you do feels good to everybody, right? Some guys like their balls licked, some guys don't like their balls touched at all. Some guys like the little tank area underneath their balls played with. Some guys would be like, you'll get a punch in your fucking head if you touch that area. Some guys like just the head of their dick sucked, and some guys like, a combination of things. Some guys like, and this is the thing too, somebody had said to me, oh, just, suck his dick sloppy or whatever. Some men don't like sloppy head. Some men don't like the feeling of spit sliding all down their dick. Some men don't like that slurping, sucking, gagging noise. Some men don't like that. They like their dick sucked, but they like it sucked, neatly, if that makes any kind of sense, right? But again, we need to be having conversations in the moment, and we also need to be having conversations afterward. People need to take their personal sensitivity. I don't know why you're looking, Mr. I-95. I don't know what the side eyes are for. People need to take their sensitivity out of the situation when you're having sex, because the only way that you can improve on having sex is if you have conversation about having sex. Practice makes perfect. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine taking piano lessons and you're playing the piano and trying to sight read music, and you have a piano instructor that never tells you if you're doing good or bad. And you just kind of have to fumble your way through until it kind of sort of sounds good. Imagine how much longer it would take for you to learn to play piano if that was the case. The point of having an instructor there is to say, yes, that's the right note. No, that's not the right note. Yes, that sounded really good. A little more crescendo, a little less, you know what I mean? The point of having an instructor, which is your partner, is the person who's supposed to be there to help guide you and to help give you instruction in terms of your intimacy, so that you both are achieving the maximum amount of pleasure within that interaction. Dora Coleman, cues porn music. Let's, I can't, I'm dying. Listen to me. Please don't make me cough too hard. I'm not able. My big industrial sized bottle of water. But yeah, you know, I've said this before in conversations that we've had. People are too afraid to talk about sex and about intimacy. People want to have sex, but nobody wants to talk about sex, which is really weird. Excuse me for a moment. Sorry, just good old fashioned water, so that I don't die in the middle of this conversation. Yeah, so it's be tactful, be kind, but have the conversations. You know what I mean? Be instructive with your partner. Like it's different if it's somebody that you're not really invested in, and it's neither here or there, and you know that you're probably going to fuck the person a handful of times, and you know it's neither here or there whether they eat your pussy or suck your dick. But if it's somebody that you intend on having regular sex with, and you want to have regular good sex with that person, you have to have conversation with the person. There has to be communication, and discussion and feedback in the moment as well as after. And also too, for the person who's eating the pussy or the person who's sucking the dick, ask questions. You know, do you like this? Like, people think that, oh, well, you shouldn't ask questions, you should just know by my reaction. No, that's not always the case. Because my thing is like, you know, if she likes you and she doesn't want to hurt your feelings, she may tense up and take whatever it is that you're giving to her because it's not pleasurable. Even though it's not pleasurable, she'll take it because she doesn't want to miss an opportunity of being able to sleep with you again. There are people who are like that. I know guys who the sex is not the greatest, but because they like the person, they pretend to nut and they kind of just go through the motions of it because they enjoy the person's company, and they try to rationalize it or level it out with all the really great things about the person. So I'm like, that's just dumb. Like, why not just tell the person the way that you like it, or whatever it is that you need, or, you know, have the conversations. Like, we're adults, we're grown. It's not like we're 16 and trying to fumble our way through sex. Like, we're big people. You know what I mean? Have the conversation with somebody. Mr. I-95, yes, teach me. Listen to me. Don't act crazy right now. Dora, I'm always asking about what they like because not every guy likes the same thing. Exactly my point. You know what I mean? People just assume that, okay, well, it's a guy, he's got a dick, you just suck it. It doesn't, as much as there are different men, there are different ways to please men, you know, and whatever trick that you've learned before may not necessarily work on the new person that you're sleeping with, you know, or you could have done it a dozen times, and on this one particular occasion, because his mind is somewhere else, because his body has become accustomed to your rhythm, because his body has been accustomed to what it is that you do, maybe it takes a little bit longer now. So whereas you were able to suck his dick before and do the 2-hand twist with all kind of spit, and he would come in 5 minutes, now it's taking him like 15 minutes to come. So you're like, oh, what's happened? Something's different, right? Yeah, you have to always kind of stay on top of it in terms of pleasure and what pleases the person, because it never stays the same. You know, you also don't want to be complacent. You also don't want to like get into a routine of just having boring sex either. Aaron Williams, 5802, what's going on? Good evening, welcome. So to answer Angie's question, which I did, but kind of further to that, is that, you know, have the conversation. Like, don't be afraid to talk to the person about what it is that you need, what it is that you like, you know, just sort of intimately or otherwise. We're too afraid to have conversation, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then, you know, the craziest thing is, after everything is said and done, we'll go and talk to our girlfriends, we'll go and talk to our homeboys, we'll talk to everybody else about how terrible the experience was, but we won't tell the person. Me, I'm not a believer in that. You know what I mean? If I'm having sex with you, whether it's sucking your dick, you eating my pussy, or whether we're fucking, I want it to be a great experience, because my intention is to have an orgasm. My intention is for you to come as well. You know what I mean? I don't want to be sitting there thinking like, this is a waste of my fucking time, or to, like, you know, go behind your back after and be like, oh my God, his sex was so whack. Oh my God, I can't believe he ate pussy like that, or whatever the case may be. I'll probably talk that shit. I'll probably still talk that shit anyways, but I will tell you, you know what I mean? I will never not say to you, like, I don't like that. Like, that wasn't good. I will tell you in the moment, and then when we're done, I'll have an additional conversation with you, because it just, again, we're grown, you know. Be that person's cheerleader. If it's a guy that you're interested in and you want the sex to improve, be his cheerleader. Give him instruction, give him guidance. Again, imagine taking piano lessons and you've paid you have an instructor, and the person doesn't instruct you and you're trying to fumble your way through learning how to play the piano by kind of hitting random keys, the person that knows what the right keys are is standing right there, but they're not going to give you the instruction. It doesn't make sense. If I am the teacher, I am the piano teacher, I know the rhythm, I know the keys, I know which ones to press, I'm going to tell you, because you know what? I want you to play a symphony. I want you to play a melody. I want you to be the greatest piano player on the earth possible, because you know what? That benefits me. Plain and simple. So I'm going to tell you. How could you forget about the Pum Pum Chronicles? Come on, man. Mr. Mid-May Monster, what's going on? Mr. I-95, I was saying I want a woman to teach me how to please her. Gotcha. Craze Driver, the white girls call it the Gluck 3000 hashtag. I don't even know what that means. I'm not even sure that I want to know what that means, because that just sounds ew. The Gluck. Mr. Craze Driver, you're going to make me and you have a whole separate conversation. Dora Coleman. When we as women keep squirming around so he can stay on point. Oh my gosh, that's the worst, right? I don't want to be wiggling around like I want to wiggle if I'm coming, but I don't want to wiggle to get your head back to the position that you were in. You know, it's kind of like, okay, so you and whoever are fucking, and he's hit the spot, he's stroking the spot, you're about to come, and you tell him, oh my God, right there, I'm about to come. And he changes the stroke or he changes the position. That shit makes me want to fight. That makes me want to fight, right? That's, to me, no, please don't send me the link to the Gluck 3000. Please and thank you very kindly. Midway Monsters, the Gluck 3000 is when she chronically gags on it and it's real sloppy. Okay, I didn't know that there was a title. I do that, but I didn't know that there was a name for it. And hearing that name just makes me feel disgusted. Like, it doesn't sound sexy. Like the Gluck, like I understand, like as I'm thinking about the noise, but that's not a sexy term. Like I can't imagine saying to somebody, oh daddy, I'm going to give you the Gluck 3000. Like there's nothing sexy about that. I'm sorry. Anyways, back to the point. If the person is doing something that you like, encourage them. If the person is doing something that feels good, encourage them. Do it verbally, do it physically. You know, let them know, like, oh my God, that feels so good. Yes, I love when you do that. Yes, that feels so great right there. Whether it's a guy and you're getting your dick sucked, or a woman and you're getting your pussy eaten, whatever the case may be, right? Let the person know. Communicate with the person during the act and definitely after the act. When everything is said and done, and you know your pulses have come back down to normal, and you're laying in sweaty happiness, and you're laying in the wet spot. Say to them, like, oh my gosh, I love the way that you ate my pussy, or oh my gosh, he's like, baby, the way that you sucked my dick, the way that you gave me the the Gluck 3000 was amazing. Midway Monster. Now listen, sometimes the position change is to prevent us from coming. You know, honestly, that's aggravating. That to me makes me feel like I want to fight. Mr. C, Spank 911, what's going on? Welcome. Nice to see you. Happy New Year. Did I say Happy New Year to you guys? Oh my gosh, I just realized this is the first episode I've done. And I think at the beginning I might have said, like, I greeted everyone, but I didn't say Happy New Year. So to everybody that's here, to everybody that's logged on, Happy New Year. I'm so happy to see all of you guys. Midway Monster, when y'all tell us that you're about to come, that should send some kind of mental trigger, then boom. You know, so what are we not supposed to tell you? That just doesn't make any sense, right? Mr. DJ Dark Fada, look, new nails. Excuse me. If I'm about to come, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to come. It's just plain and simple, right? You need to control yourself. I don't care how good it, if my whole thing is, right? Actually, there is no point, and there is no whole thing, right? You need to control yourself. Like, if I say to you, we know that women, for the most part, are multi-orgasmic. I'm multi-orgasmic, right? So me telling you that I'm going to come, I'm hoping that's probably like my 4th or 5th orgasm. By that time, okay, yeah, you might get a pass, and I might say, okay, fine, you know what, go ahead and come. But if you're interested in what's going on with my body, and you're interested in all the stuff that's coming out, and the wetness and the glimity and the goodness and the gluck and all that shit, if you're interested in getting more of that, it's probably not in your best interest to come right away, even if I tell you I'm going to come. I should be able to say that to you like 15 or 20 times before you're ready to like come. And I know sometimes that like that might be a stretch, and you know, some guys may say like, you know, the pussy feels too good that, you know, after like the first 15 or strokes or whatever the case may be, you better hurry up and nut because I'm gonna come. I get that, you know what I mean? But then I'm also waiting on round 2. And I know guys would be like, oh well, you know, you have girls that sit down, they lay there and wait for round 2 to come. No, I'll help you wake up for round 2. I have no problem with that. I'll give you a bit of a breather, but I'll help you wake up for round 2. But the point is, the point is, when a person is doing something that you're enjoying, if the person that you're fucking, the person who's eating your pussy, the person who's sucking your dick is doing something that you enjoy, let the person know. In the moment, let the person know. And after the fact, let the person know. It doesn't help them improve their skills if you never say anything and you just stay pissed off. Right? If they're doing something that hurts you, or if they're doing something that's uncomfortable, they're doing something that doesn't feel good, let them know. Again, you don't have to argue and cuss and fight and carry on bad or punch them or, you know, slap them or get mad or anything like that. You can encourage people to do the things that you like without it having to get to that point. Midway monster, yes, sometimes laughing my ass off. Maybe in round 2 when we have re-upped and we've got a good while before the next nut. Okay, fair enough. Mr. K's driver. When a man is pounding and she says she's about to come, immediately our brains fucking up the stroke. Really? So what do we need to get you guys, like earplugs or something? That just, I don't understand. And you know what? No, I don't understand. I don't understand. Because I obviously we've all had different experiences, and yes, it depends on the woman's body and, you know, the way that she controls her pussy and all them good things. I understand. Sorry, you guys also have a certain amount of control yourselves, you know what I mean? So yeah, you can't put that all on her. Like part of that responsibility definitely has to be yours. Just don't say you're coming, just come. Really? Yeah, I'm gonna say it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell the neighbors that I'm coming. How about that? Then what are you gonna do? Huh? Just joking. The more noise she makes, the crazier I get. Dora, your man is out here talking things. Anyhow, so hopefully that answers the question. Hopefully, Mr. Kabuki, what's going on? Nice to see you. Welcome. Happy New Year. Hello, hello. So hopefully that answers the question. You know, people are always remiss about having conversations, and it's just stupid, right? The point of having sex is to have the best sex that you can possibly have. And again, my analogy is, you know, think of it as learning to play the piano, and you have a piano instructor that's not giving you instruction, right? You should have a piano instructor who wants you to play the best piano possible and learn all the right keys and make a symphony and make a harmony. And the only way that that can happen is if that instructor gives you the instructions that they need to give you, right? Think of your pussy the same way. Think of your dick the same way. In order to get that person to do the best job that they can possibly do and suck your dick in the best way possible, or eat your pussy in the best way possible, you know, or to improve their skills, is for you to help them. You have to give them instructions. You have to give them guidance. You can't keep thinking to yourself, well, they should know because they're grown. Fuck that. That doesn't make any kind of sense. Everybody's body is different, right? The way that one person has pleased somebody doesn't necessarily work for another person. It takes time. You should know your body enough to know what feels good to you, that you should be able to help the person to help you achieve the orgasms that you want to have. Otherwise, what's the point of it, right? If the person is licking and sucking and doing something that's really great and they're doing something that you really love, encourage them and tell them that, you know? And if they're doing something that doesn't necessarily feel good or doing something that hurts, you need to also tell them that as well. It makes no sense to kind of lay there and suffer because you want to be able to have a next time with the person. You want to be able to have a next time with the person, but you want that next time to be equally as good, if not better, if not great, or more fantastic than the first time that you guys were together. That should be the point of it, right? And then for us on the receiving end of it, stop taking offense to the things that people say. You want to get better at sex, not worse. You know what I mean? You want to have more opportunities to do better and more opportunities to please. I would rather know that somebody's like, my God, that bitch sucked the shit out of my dick, than like, her head game was whack. I would rather the former than the latter. You know what I mean? I'd rather that if he's going to be saying something, that it's something positive like, woo, that girl just about snatched my soul with her Gluck 3000, as opposed to, man, that head was trash. You know what I mean? Crazy driver, after the neighbors know, I'm not even listening to you. Midway monster, I'm sorry, but that's, but there's often not an abundance of control when you're inside a grade A box or celestial pum pum. I'm just leaving. I'm going to leave you alone. Kuzo98, what's going on? Welcome. Yay, happy new year. Thanks for joining the discussion. Good to see you. Okay, so we're going to leave that alone, and we're going to move on to another topic that might be a little bit sensitive. And the other topic was, can you date somebody who has a different midway month? I'm not fucking with you, Mr. Anomalous Black Swan. Can you successfully date somebody who has a different set of religious beliefs, or someone who has a different faith than you? A friend of mine, a very, very good friend of mine, who is a very devout Christian, she was dating a guy, and everything was going really well until they started having conversations about faith and their religious backgrounds. And she is, okay, so let's say she's Anglican, because for the life of me, I can't remember what it is that she is. And he was Pentecostal. See, now for me, in my ignorance, and forgive me for saying so, to me, like, they all fall under the umbrella of being Christian. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, because I don't ascribe to any one particular faith or denomination. I just have faith. Denomination. I just have faith. But she ended their relationship because she did not believe that they could successfully navigate a relationship to the point of marriage or having children if they both had different religious beliefs, and she was unwilling to convert and he was unwilling to convert. So let's see. Dora, I can date somebody that has a different faith as long as we don't try to make the other person in the wrong. Absolutely. Midway Monster, yes, but I found that it doesn't work well the other way around. Envirocantastic, yes, just respect it. Kuzo89, I don't know if you're saying no to the discussion. Oh, maybe there it is. How can we walk together and not agree? We have to be equally yoked. Not wrong, just different doctrines. Okay, so Craze Driver, I had a soldier go AWOL in Iraq at a time of war to get a woman of a different religion. I've never changed my religious beliefs for a woman. No woman is changing what I believe. Okay, but that's not the conversation that we're having. It's not about changing the person's beliefs. So I'll say it like this. In my household, there are Muslims, there are Anglicans, and then there are people who are denominational. And we all live in the same house, and we all love each other, and we all get along great, and we have philosophical and theological discussions about our different religious beliefs with respect. My problem is people miss out on opportunity. Okay, so religion, the base of religion is supposed to be about love. The base of faith is supposed to be about love. So if you cannot have harmonious discussions with people about your faith and about a God that you love, what is the point? The God that you love and the faith that you serve shouldn't hinder you from loving another person who believes something different. Because for me, at the end of the day, and right or wrong, and you may agree or disagree, really and truly, if you all serve a God, if you all serve a power that is greater than you, if you all have a belief that is greater than you. Now, we're not talking about people who are radicals. We're not talking about people who are extremists. We're not talking about people who run around and bomb people in the name of their faith. We're not talking about any of that. And that happens both in the Christian faith as well as the Muslim faith. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about people who have belief, people who have faith, people who are committed to their religious belief. If you're committed to your religious belief and the base of your belief is faith, how can you not love another person because they believe in something that is slightly different than you? God is God, no? Okay, let's scroll back through the conversation. Crazed Driver. Okay, so I read yours. Mr. I-95, you can be equally yoked doesn't mean that you're meant to be together. Midway Monster, you have to be willing to listen, comprehend, and accept their beliefs. Planet 85, honestly, religious differences is one of, if not the most difficult thing to overcome in a relationship. That's it, discussion and respect. Kuzo 89, so where's the discipline in your beliefs? Either you're hot or cold. Okay, so explain to me the discipline in your beliefs. Because if I believe in God, I'm Anglican, right? Does my belief say that I cannot love another person who is of another religious faith because that person calls their God Allah and I call my God God? So I need you to explain to me. You're saying, what is the discipline? What does religious discipline have to do with me loving another person who has a different religious belief? See, this is my thing, right? As adults, as intelligent human beings, right? Why can I not put on a hijab and go to mosque out of respect for a friend of mine or somebody that I love, the same way that they can keep on their hijab and come to a church with me and be there while I worship, right? I am not a religious person by any stretch of the imagination. Anybody who knows me knows that I do not ascribe to any religion one way or the other. I have respect for what people believe in, right? I have gone to church. The 3 months that I spent in Texas, I went to one of the biggest mega churches there several times with a friend of mine. She knows that I'm not a, like, carry my Bible and pay tithes. I'm not that person. I'm just not that person, for a number of different reasons and a whole other discussion. But, out of respect for her and love for her, and out of respect for what it is that she believes in her faith, I went with her. Not out of obligation, not out of, tokenism or anything else like that, but through having conversation with her, through understanding what it is that she believes, through understanding where she stands emotionally in terms of her religion and her faith, and just having respect for the fact that she believes in something so much so that this is a thing that's important to her, and I love her and she's important to me. Therefore, it makes it important to me to go and to celebrate with her and to worship with her in the ways that she does. Just the same as my son is Muslim, I would go to mosque with my son, cover my hair and go and go to their services the same way. I'm not Muslim. You know what I mean? Another person's faith, another person's religious beliefs have nothing to do with me. I can't stop loving somebody because they choose to believe in something that's different than what I believe in. I know relationships where people have successfully navigated their love because their love is based in their faith. It's not based in a book. It's not based in something that's man-made. It's not based in man-made comprehension. It's based in their love and their faith. And if you love somebody the same way that you love God and the way that you love your faith, why would it be difficult for you to love another person? Oh my gosh, I've missed so much. Sorry, let's go back. Sorry. Just trying to scroll back in some of the conversation. Dora Coleman, now a Christian and an atheist can get along as a religion. It is not pushed on either side. Mr. R95, hot and cold has nothing to do with it. The highest divorce rate is in Christianity. Take it further, the church. Eric the Humble, welcome. I don't know if you're still here. Nick, what's going on? Nice to see you. Mr. Craze Driver, in this day and age, religion and faith is in the line. It will not be crossed. We can have sex, but never compromise our beliefs for love. See, now that's crazy to me, right? You have people of different religious backgrounds who will fuck all day long, but won't get married because they believe in different things. That to me is idiotic. That's absolutely idiotic. You know what I mean? I've seen, excuse me, men who, will see a Muslim woman in her hijab and be like, my God, she's beautiful. You know what I mean? Oh my, I would love to get to know her, this, that, and the third. But then they'd be like, oh, I can't fuck with no Muslim girl because she's Muslim. What does that have to do with anything? You know what I mean? People stop seeing the person and start looking at their religious faith. People stop seeing the person and stop looking at the religious belief. Now, if I love you, you wanting to go to church every Sunday has nothing to do with me. Will I respect you? Absolutely. Will I love you? Absolutely. Should I even come with you? You know what I mean? Because of my love and respect for what it is that you believe. Your religion and your faith has nothing to do with me in any way, shape, or form. My love for you is what has to do with me. My love for you is what has to do with us. You know what I mean? We can sit down and have healthy discussions about what your faith is. We can sit down and have healthy discussions about what your beliefs are, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to convert in order to love you. That doesn't necessarily mean that I have to convert in order to support you. That's like saying that, if you are vegan and I'm a meatitarian, that we can't be together because all you want to do is eat bush and trees. And all I want to do is, that makes absolutely no sense. Might be idiotic, but the majority thinks like that. I don't agree with you. I don't think that the majority of people think that way. I really and truly don't. I think that the mindset of people is shifting because people are realizing that, there's something bigger than just a book. Because really and truly, what a lot of people are drilling it down to and basing it on, you have a lot of people who are Christians that don't go to church. You have a lot of people who are Christians that can't tell you a verse from the Bible outside of like the standard ones, like the Lord's Prayer, or, you know, like the basic things. You have people who are Muslim that can't tell you a line out of the Quran. You have people who are you know, study Judaism that can't tell you a line out of the Torah. You have people who believe in religion that can't tell you anything about their own religion, but yet won't date somebody of a different religious background because they have a different belief system. That doesn't make any sense. Again, if God is love and the foundation of your faith is love, what is the problem? Mr. I-95. Midway Monster. That's the, I don't know, that two religious discipline to that mentioned earlier. Peace are two, I don't know. Midway Monster also found that people will bend their beliefs to fit their desires. That does happen. Mr. I-95, now that's bogus. Also, you wanted to look at, discover the origins of the word marriage. Yeah, that's a whole other discussion. But so the question still remains, can two people of different religious faiths, two people of two different belief systems, can two people of two different religious backgrounds successfully navigate a relationship and be married? I do. I think that it is possible. When I look at my son and his best friend of 13 years, my son is Muslim and his best friend is Christian. And it may not be the same as a marriage, but in order for you to successfully navigate any relationship, friendship or otherwise, there has to be trust, there has to be conversation, there has to be communication, there has to be comprehension, there has to be love, you know, and an abundance of other things. You don't successfully navigate a relationship, friendship for that long without there being an issue. I've come home and have had Jehovah's Witness people in my house, and my son, who is Muslim, and the Jehovah's Witness people are sitting down at my dining table talking about theology. You know, now mind you, they were kind of trying to gently convert him to being a Jehovah's Witness from being Muslim. And he's very steadfast in his faith. He's not a radical. He's not an extremist. He's none of those things. He's a very respectful young man. He believes that people are allowed to practice whatever faith and religion and belief that they want to with respect. And, you know, he listens to what it is that people have to say without trying to push his religious ideologies on people. He says, this is what I believe in. This is what I hold to be true. But I also respect what you believe in and what you hold to be true. And I'm telling you, at his age, he is one of the best people that I know because he doesn't judge people based on their faith. Whereas I know people who are not even practicing Christians, people who are not practicing Muslims, who will crucify you if you are not one or the other. Kuzo 89, sorry, it's hard to put my answer into a nutshell. I tried and I did not have enough space. Please forgive me. You don't need forgiveness. It's okay. Yet I love and respect all. I will say the discipline is lost with all religions. You sort of spoke on it a few minutes ago. Crazed driver, there are expectations to all the rules. Now that I agree. It's Mr. Kuzo. Midway Monster. Oh, I've had discussions with a few denominations. What I do is present them with found facts in history, then ask them to explain. That's always a difficult conversation to have with people. And again, like I said, you have people who, so I'll tell you from personal experience, you know, I remember when my son was born at the time, many, many years ago, I was attending a Pentecostal church. Now, our family is Anglican. This is the way that we were raised. And my mother was up in arms so much that she refused to come to my son's christening because it was in a Pentecostal church. Ask me when is the last time my mother went to an Anglican church. Ask me now. The last memory I had of my mother attending an Anglican church was never. I remember as a child, my mother used to put my brother and I on the bus and send us to church, and she would stay home. And this was when I was like 10, 11 years old. So, you know, this was quite a few decades ago. You know what I mean? My mother, I never saw my mother go to church, but yet she had this belief that because we were Anglican, because we were raised in the Anglican faith when I was in Jamaica, which is like, I can remember as a child going to church maybe twice, because that's what she was raised as. Even though she never really went to church, even as a kid herself, she refused to come to her grandson's christening because it was in a Pentecostal church. When I asked her why, she didn't have an answer. Oh, well, we're not Pentecost, we're Anglican. No, we're not. If you do not practice the religion, if you do not practice the faith, what are you claiming? Please tell me, what is it that you're claiming? You're going to turn around and say, well, I can't be with somebody who's Muslim because they're Muslim. And what does that mean? Does that mean that they're less human? Does that mean that they're less worthy? Does that mean that they deserve love less than some? Have you ever spoken to someone who's of the Muslim faith? No, I haven't. But I just know. What is it that you know? At the end of the day, when you strip away religion, when you strip away faith, people are people. At the basis of it, you know what I mean? You've got good Christians, you've got bad Christians, you've got good Muslims, you've got bad Muslims, you've got, good Jews, you've got bad Jews, you've got good atheists, you've got good and bad in every single faith and religion on the planet. And not because you claim something makes you a better person than anybody else. That's absolutely asinine. That's a bunch of bullshit. It's different. This is my thing. If you truly practice a faith and a religion, you are more open-minded than somebody who says they're of that denomination and doesn't practice. And you know why I say that? Because you were taught to expand the way that you think. You were taught to learn more than the box that is given to you. You are taught to look beyond the pages of a book that is the basis of your faith. You're taught more than that. You're taught more than that. People who actually practice religion, whatever their faith is, they don't just research and read on their faith alone. They research and read other faiths and religions to see the commonalities and to see the differences in those religious beliefs, so that you can actually teach from a place of understanding. How do you say to somebody who is, of the Pentecost faith, well, this is what I believe as an Anglican. However, I can see your side of it as a Pentecost because I know these things to be true within your denomination. You can't convince me of anything if you don't know anything about what I believe. Period. Oh my goodness, I miss so many things. You never know what's real. That's why I experienced God for myself. You did. Kuzo 89, Mr. Midway, Monster. The things that disturb me about the most religions is that they look at them throughout history. They're mostly subjugate people, which is partially the opposite of their book, what their book may preach. Kuzo 89, can you elaborate on your religion, Miss Jones? Never heard that before. On the Anglican faith? Anglican or Pentecost? Which one? I don't know which one you're asking me to elaborate on. And we're going to run out of time. Excuse me. So, Kuzo 89, I don't know if you're still there. If it's something that you want to ask me after the fact, you know that you can message me and I will continue the discussion with you. But, again, I think it's possible for people to be in successful relationships of different faith and different backgrounds. My whole thing is, why can't you share the spotlight? Right? Why can't you share the learning? Why can't you share the beliefs in faith? Why can't there be a rotation of understanding? So, Mr. I-95, if you and I are in a religion and I am Pentecost and you are Anglican, why can't we share that faith and belief and have those discussions, right? He's asking me, what do I believe in? My own religion? I don't have a religious background. I was christened Anglican as a child. At some point when I had my son and I was looking at religion and looking at faith, because, I don't know what it was that I was searching for. I had gone to a Pentecostal church and it spoke to me, until the pastor started to do some fucked up shit and I stopped going there. Yeah. And then after that, I was like, honestly and truly, I don't need a book or a religious group or a religious house or a religious practice to tell me that it's okay to believe in something that's greater than myself. My faith and belief is that I know that I don't exist just because I will for it to be so. I have respect enough to the universe to know that, the universe is the greatest, most vast thing out there, and even saying that trivializes it down. I also know that as man, in order for us to believe, we have to give name to something to help us digest and absorb whatever that belief is. To me, I don't believe in doing that. It's okay. here late. It's okay. I love you. I'm happy that you came. Kinks with Kiki, what's going on, my darling? I wish you were here for the first part of the discussion. It was a good discussion. But I don't have a set of religious beliefs. I respect whatever people believe in. As long as you're not burning, raping, pillaging, and doing harm to other people, I'm okay for whatever people believe in. As long as you're not an extremist, as long as you're not a radical, as long as you're not killing people for what they believe, I'm all for it. I'm not a fan of the Bible per se and these mega churches, because I feel like they dupe people into giving money that they don't have, that they don't give enough back to the community. And it sickens me when I see these pastors with so much and then their congregation has so little, Again, for the Muslims and the extremists in the Muslim faith, I'm not a believer in bombing and killing people to prove your faith and belief in something. That's absolutely ridiculous and crazy to me. There's just so many. I feel like religion has created such a divide and such a separation in humanity, where things should be bridgeable, because God is supposed to be love. Because faith is supposed to be based in love. Because faith and religion are supposed to be in loving humankind and being kind to people and doing what you can do to help humankind grow and succeed and become better. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen. That's my only issue with organized religion. That's my only issue with the book or the word or the books that people believe in. They're books, and they're written by some man. They're books that are given to you in order for you to control your belief or to structure your belief, which is strange to me. Kings with Kiki, my old pastor got his congregation to pay for his school tuition. You see what I'm talking about? Kuzo 89, do you find fault in eating certain things or animals? I don't. This is the way that I live. If it pleases you, eat it. If it fills your belly and it's not hurting another person, eat it. The only thing I don't ascribe to is cannibalism. But you know what? I also know that there are cultures, uncivilized or otherwise, long before, white people came into the picture, they practice cannibalism. At the end of the day, none of us are in a position to say what's right or wrong. Absolutely. Because you know what? I didn't make you. I didn't make you and you didn't make me. I didn't make a means or make a way for you to be here. I didn't create, the vessel of my body that allowed for my children to be here. Something greater than me did. Plain and simple, So for me to say to you, well, you shouldn't eat pork because that's wrong. Who told you that? You shouldn't eat cats and dogs. You shouldn't eat snakes. You shouldn't eat People practice different things as much as there are different people on the planet, there are different beliefs, there are different ways of doing things, there are different systems and different practices. How am I going to tell you that what you believe in and what you practice and what you eat and what you listen to and what you sing and what you dance and how am I going to tell you that those things are wrong? I don't know you. I don't know your cultural background. I don't know the religious background you come from. I don't know the history of your people or anything else. How am I going to tell you that those things are wrong? That doesn't make any sense. It's like people say to me, oh, well, you shouldn't eat pork. Why not? Oh, because the Bible says. Tell me where in the Bible said to me that I should not eat pork. Somewhere in the Quran it says you shouldn't eat pork. Somewhere in the Torah it says you shouldn't eat pork. And all these things. Who wrote those books? Who wrote those books? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like people say that you shouldn't eat pussy because whatever. You shouldn't eat ass because of whatever. You shouldn't suck dick because of whatever. You should only have sex when you're married. You should only, just whatever, all of there's so many rules as many people as there are on the planet, there are rules for those people on the planet. And again, who am I to say that something is wrong or something is not wrong? If it makes you happy, eat it. If it makes you happy, eat it. Because you know what? You have people, to me, smoking cigarettes is worse than eating pork. To me, smoking crack is worse than eating pork, right? You have people who will smoke cigarettes and smoke crack, but then look at you and say, oh, you shouldn't eat swine. I'm sorry, what? If I'm picking between poisons, I'd rather eat a BLT than smoke a cigarette. If you're a person who smokes cigarettes, you can't tell me nothing about putting nothing in my body. because you're choosing to put poisons in your body, but you want to come judge me because I'm eating a BLT? Yo, fam, give me the pork chops, give me the pork ribs, give me the swine all day long, because you can't tell me anything. You can't tell me anything. Yo, you and that bib around your neck, I can't deal with you. Okay, so it's 9:59. The conversation is going to die down. Should I come back? Should I continue the conversation? You guys let me know. I liked where the discussion is going, but you know, I usually cap it at about an hour. So I will wait to hear from you. Should I come back? Got 28 seconds. Let me know. Let me know. Nobody's saying anything. You know what? I'm just going to come back. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to log back on.